Welcome back to Anfield Wire. Liverpool fans, today we've got huge news to break down. Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich rumours, Mohamed Salah under fire, Xabi Alonso's shocking Chelsea move, and more drama surrounding Liverpool after another painful defeat. Stick around till the end because you do not want to miss these updates and reactions. And if you love Liverpool news, transfer updates and honest fan opinions, make sure to like, subscribe and join the Anfield Wire family today. Luis Diaz dances with Bayern Munich stars after latest reminder of Liverpool transfer need. Luis Diaz left Liverpool to join Bayern Munich last summer, and he celebrated a league title win with Vincent Kompany this weekend, shortly after another Harry Kane hat-trick. Former Liverpool winger Luis Diaz has celebrated winning a league title for a second season in a row after joining Bayern Munich for a fee that could reach $88 million, £65 million last summer. Harry Kane scored a hat-trick in a 5-1 win over Cologne on Saturday as the Bundesliga season came to an end. The former Tottenham man's 58 goals in all competitions at club level are the most by a player from Europe's Big Five leagues since the ex-Liverpool ace Luis Suarez for Barcelona in 2015-16. Diaz and his teammates lifted the trophy at the final whistle, celebrating their latest success by dancing on the pitch and covering one another with beer. Bayern Munich has now won 12 of the last 13 editions of the German top flight. But while it was hugely successful domestically, Bayern Munich was knocked out of the Champions League by PSG at the semi-final stage, missing out on European glory. In all competitions, Diaz has scored 26 goals and provided 22 assists in his debut season in Germany. He might have some additional competition for his place in the team next year, with Anthony Gordon lined up to come in from Newcastle. Making the decision to come to Bayern was the right one, Diaz told ESPN in April. I feel very happy and I enjoy every match. I feel very good, strong, and that allows me to be available to help the team. While Diaz has been missed at Liverpool, it was not necessarily the wrong decision to let him leave. He had wanted to go a year earlier and only had 2 years left on his contract. Diaz, at 29, brought in a major transfer fee from Bayern Munich, but Liverpool should have added some more pace to its roster to avoid the struggles it has had in attack this term that were evident again at Aston Villa on Friday. When the summer comes, a replacement for the Colombian will be as important as finding a successor to Mohamed Salah, with the Egyptian set to follow him out of the door. Liverpool has 17-year-old Rio Ngumoha as well, of course, but the Reds have been keen to ensure that he isn't overplayed. Federico Chiesa could leave and Jeremy Frimpong has been ineffective when he has been used in the forward line. Last month, Steven Gerrard mentioned Diaz when he was asked about trying to replace Salah, pointing out that a different kind of winger might be targeted to complement the likes of Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. I think the concern is if you're trying to replace Salah in terms of like for like, I think there are very few out there that you can go and grab, the Reds legend said on TalkSport. Elise would be one, I would say, but I don't think he would be available. But from experience, being around Liverpool as a player and also since I've left, Liverpool's recruitment team will have different options, and that doesn't necessarily mean they'll look for a like for like. When we had to replace Sadio Mane, for example, we went for Diaz, who's slightly different, if you like. Arne Slot has easy escape from Mohamed Salah criticism following yet another defeat. Mohamed Salah wants Liverpool to get back to a heavy metal style of play, but Arne Slot needs players equipped to deliver it after a season to forget at Anfield. With one game remaining this season, the conversation around Liverpool and what comes next appears to be getting louder. 3 more points are needed to secure a Champions League spot too. Arne Slot is under pressure to improve performances and results. There is discontent after a tough few months. Mohamed Salah sparked fresh debate by posting on social media on Saturday, and the Reds are in dire need of a reset. The sooner the campaign comes to an end, the better. The mitigations are obvious and legitimate. Liverpool is still dealing with the loss of Diogo Jota, and its pre-season last summer was significantly affected as a result of that tragedy. Across the course of the campaign, injuries have proven to be detrimental. Giovanni Leone and Alexander Isak are just 2 of those impacted, with the $200 million, £151 million duo yet to get going in a Liverpool jersey. Isak in particular, though he was to blame for last summer being a write-off as he forced through his transfer, has been a huge loss. It is not unreasonable to suggest that Liverpool would be at least 10 points better off had he been fully fit all year. Liverpool's roster more generally is imbalanced and lacks speed and depth. It is for that reason that Slot believes things will improve with the right transfers in the upcoming window. At the same time, though, there is an undeniable risk attached to sticking with Slot when the atmosphere around the team's performances is so toxic. Salah's social media post about the approach and a move away from a heavy metal style resonated with plenty of Liverpool fans, but the aforementioned mitigations might explain that. With so few attacking options and a team hardly dripping with energy and pace, is it realistic to implement that approach? That is why Slot wants fresh blood when the summer comes. What happens if next season starts badly? Fans are fickle. Begin with promise and they will get right behind Slot once again. Look unconvincing, however, and Liverpool will quickly be in trouble, especially if Xabi Alonso is doing well at Chelsea. Earlier in the week, before Liverpool played Aston Villa, Slot said that he accepted fan opinion would not turn around before the end of the season. It has since only gotten worse after a 19th defeat in all competitions. The Dutchman is planning for a summer reset. Again, the end of the season cannot come soon enough. He says getting the right signings through the door will make all the difference. At Villa Park, Slot said explicitly that Liverpool supporters are perhaps underestimating the power of the transfer market and that things can change more quickly than they think. The style of play and the intensity of the players no doubt will come into that. The idea that a big swing could happen is true as well. This time last year, for instance, Manchester United was 42 points behind Liverpool. It is now set to finish at least one place above. Will the Reds have the perfect summer to turn things around for Slot? That is the question that grows with every defeat. With the right additions in the market, though, both Salah and the Dutchman can get what they, and ultimately Liverpool, want. Liverpool transfer news as Adam Wharton price tag set amid Federico Chiesa decision. Liverpool transfer news as Crystal Palace's asking price for Adam Wharton has supposedly been set and Federico Chiesa has reportedly made a decision on his future. Liverpool still needs another 3 points to guarantee a place in next season's Champions League, but Arne Slot knows what he needs next. Some new players. This summer's work on the transfer market will determine what Liverpool can do next year above all else. More quality, pace and depth is a must, and the lack of balance within the Reds roster needs to be addressed. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. We start with Adam Wharton, the Crystal Palace and England midfielder, who has been linked with a move to Anfield of late. Linked with Liverpool and others, Wharton is said to be valued at upward of $80 million, or about £60 million, according to Goal. The more competition there is, and the better he does at the World Cup, the higher that number might become. I would love him to stay for another 12 months, and I think he should stay, Clinton Morrison said. But then his development, he might, because he's only 22, say, I need to be playing Champions League football to become an England regular. And he wants to win stuff. I kind of get, if the right offer came in, then Palace might have to say, 60-70 million coming for Adam Wharton. We might have to take it after we paid 18 million to Blackburn for him. What another great bit of business they've done at the football club. That might have to happen. I would love him to stay, but it looks more than likely, probably in the summer, that he probably will move on. But as I say, if the right offer doesn't come in, you've seen it over the years with the likes of Guehi and Eberechi Eze. If the offer's not right, the chairman won't do business. He'll know the price he wants for Adam Wharton, and if they don't make the right offer, then he could be at Palace. But I could probably see him moving in the summer. Liverpool forward Federico Chiesa is likely to move back to Serie A this summer, according to Fabrizio Romano. He has barely featured for the Reds under Arne Slot. Several clubs in Italy have shown an interest in Chiesa in the last 12 months or so. His fitness has never been particularly strong since he arrived at Anfield, and he hasn't been able to play that much. Liverpool legend pulls no punches in scathing verdict on Aston Villa defeat. Liverpool legend John Aldridge has pulled no punches with a scathing verdict after Arne Slot's side lost the 19th game of the season, this time at the hands of Aston Villa. John Aldridge says Liverpool have made things far too easy for opponents this season after the Reds went down 4-2 at Aston Villa on Friday, losing for the 12th time in the Premier League this term. Arne Slot's side will still finish inside the Champions League spots with a win against Brentford next weekend. However, it has been on the verge of getting over the line for a number of weeks without being able to mathematically tie things up. We've made it so easy for teams to play against us this season, Aldridge wrote on Twitter/X. I am flabbergasted by what I've seen. Aston Villa deserved it, obviously, but we were the reason behind it as much as they played well. After the game, Liverpool boss Slot admitted that he is frustrated by how things are going this season. However, he believes that getting the right players in during the summer transfer market will sort things out. The defeat is damaging because we needed either a win or maybe 2 draws would have been enough as well, Slot said at Villa Park. But now we know one thing for sure, that we need a win next week if we have to do it ourselves. As we all know, other teams, of course, need to pick up points as well for us to need a win. So that's really damaging that we were not able to get a result, let alone a win here today. There were parts in the game where I felt a result could have gone our way. But I think what people are mainly focused on is the period after the 2-1, where we couldn't find any momentum anymore and we conceded 2 other goals. That was the most difficult period in the game. Liverpool has conceded more goals than ever before in a 38-game season, and Slot's side once again looked wide open at the back while lacking quality in attack. It's frustrating because as a manager, you're also responsible for if things happen time and time again. You are hired to try to prevent that for the next time, the Dutchman added. We scored 2 set pieces over here, so usually you think if you go to an away game or any game where you score 2 set pieces, usually you're quite sure of a result, unless you concede 3 set pieces, what we did. Steven Gerrard left hurt as Liverpool legend delivers withering verdict, no passion. Steven Gerrard says he was left hurt when he watched Liverpool lose to Aston Villa on Friday, with Arne Slot overseeing a 19th defeat of the campaign in all competitions. Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard says he was left hurt after watching the Reds crumble in the second half against Aston Villa on Friday, with Arne Slot's men losing for the 19th time this season. Mohamed Salah posted a lengthy message on social media the following day, outlining his thoughts on the Liverpool playing style ahead of his final match at Anfield next weekend. And after reacting to that statement, Gerrard went on to offer his own verdict on how Liverpool has been performing this season, with another 3 points required to guarantee a place in next year's Champions League. Crumbling is a strong word, Gerrard said. It's quite damning, the timing. It's unusual coming from Mo. The pressure's on the players and the pressure's on the manager because it's been nowhere near good enough. The performance against Aston Villa was terrible. It was awful. It was difficult to watch from start to finish. And it hurt me watching Liverpool last night. I don't normally say that. It was a tough 90 minutes and they got what they deserved. Villa were better all over the pitch. There was no fight, no passion, no pattern of play, no connection. They're not moving around the pitch together. Individuals were miles off what I know they can perform at. It hurt me to watch Liverpool against Aston Villa. They were nowhere near good enough. Let's finish on that note. Earlier, Gerrard had offered his take on Salah coming out and writing a long statement which most assumed was aimed at Slot, about whom he aimed much more direct accusations after being left on the bench at Elland Road in December. You guys know, you've been involved in the media, he very rarely speaks, Gerrard said. He's done interviews lately because he's obviously bringing the curtain down on an incredible Liverpool career. But that is quite damning to the Liverpool manager and the staff in terms of where this team's at. That's my opinion on that. Is he speaking off his own back for the sake of everyone else in the dressing room? It's strange. It's unusual. He's going to be doing a load of media around his last game, I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to the coming days because that's unusual for a Liverpool player and it's unusual for Mo Salah. Xabi Alonso's first words as Chelsea manager as former Liverpool hero's appointment confirmed. Xabi Alonso has spoken for the first time as Chelsea manager after the former Liverpool hero's appointment at Stamford Bridge was confirmed a day after its FA Cup final defeat. Former Liverpool midfielder Xabi Alonso has spoken for the first time after being confirmed as Chelsea's new manager, where he will take over officially on a 4-year deal on July 1. After Enzo Maresca and Liam Rosenior were both fired by Chelsea this season, the West London outfit was on the hunt for another new head coach. It has agreed to give Alonso more power than previous people to have held the role in order to convince him to take the next step of his coaching career in the Premier League. Chelsea is one of the biggest clubs in world football, and it fills me with immense pride to become manager of this great club, Alonso told club media after the appointment was made public. From my conversations with the ownership group and sporting leadership, it is clear we share the same ambition. We want to build a team capable of competing consistently at the highest level and fighting for trophies. Chelsea finishes this season with matches against Tottenham and Sunderland. As things stand, it is 9th in the Premier League table, level on points with Everton. Things did not go well for Alonso when he was in charge at Real Madrid. He was fired from that role in January, but was very successful with Bayer Leverkusen before that. Kylian Mbappe spoke earlier this week about Alonso not being at fault for what went wrong at the Bernabeu. Things have only further unravelled since his departure from the Spanish giant. "We had a structure in our game and we lost it. That hurts a lot," Mbappe told Spanish media after Real Madrid beat Real Oviedo on Thursday. "I had a great relationship with Xabi Alonso. He is going to become a great coach, but that is now in the past. We have to look forward. We did not win titles, and that hurts because we showed we were capable of much more. We all share responsibility, and we have to change this." Mbappe was jeered by his own fans when he was brought on as a substitute against Real Oviedo on Thursday. He had been left out of the starting 11, but played it down at the final whistle. "I haven't played because for the coach I've been the fourth striker in the squad behind Mastantuono, Vini and Gonzalo," Mbappe explained. "I was ready to start, but it's his, manager Arbeloa's, decision, and it always has to be respected. I have no problem at all with Arbeloa. You have to accept the coach's philosophy, and I have to do better to play ahead of Vini, Gonzalo and Mastantuono." Gary Neville blasts Mohamed Salah after Liverpool's statement, "I would be fuming." Sky Sports pundit Gary Neville has weighed in on Mohamed Salah, appearing to criticise Arne Slot after a 12th Premier League defeat of the campaign for Liverpool on Friday. Gary Neville has blasted Mohamed Salah for his social media post earlier this weekend, insisting that if that had been a Manchester United player, he would have been fuming. Salah appeared to criticise Arne Slot's style of play just a few weeks after intimating that standards may be slipping behind the scenes. Liverpool has struggled this season, with the Egyptian failing to live up to previous campaigns in terms of his goal output. He's pulled the pin out of a grenade and thrown it in the middle of the room. And he's on his way out of the room, by the way, Neville said on Sky Sports. Salah outlined that he wants to see Liverpool return to a heavy metal style of play, which was associated with Jurgen Klopp. "All is not happy over there," Neville continued. "It's not great, and if it was a Manchester United player, I would be fuming. But what you can never do with this type of character and this type of personality and stature of player is keep them quiet. If they have got something to say, they are going to say it. And they are going to say it at the point maybe when you don't want to hear it. That's what he's done. It's a telling comment, and Arne Slot will not welcome it whatsoever. He will just want to get to the end of the season and get everybody out of there that's not going to be there next season." The signing of Xabi Alonso at Chelsea this morning did tell me that Liverpool are going to keep their manager. I'm happy about that because I genuinely think that a manager who has won the league 12 months ago deserves another opportunity. He is still in the Champions League, and it is for Liverpool to worry about their own problems. I don't think they need Gary Neville telling them what to do, but it was a telling comment from Mo Salah. Liverpool finishes the season with a home game against Brentford at Anfield. It needs to win that fixture to be guaranteed a place in the Champions League next year. Salah and Andy Robertson will definitely be playing for the final time in a Liverpool jersey. Alisson Becker, who has not played since March because of an injury, has also been strongly linked with an exit. Arne Slot spoke on Friday about the importance of Liverpool getting the summer right in terms of transfers. The correct additions, he believes, will be enough to turn the situation around and ensure the 2026-27 campaign is more successful.